I That's all I had, and that was Good morning. Good morning. What are all these beads? I don't understand.
Yeah, party game.
How many of you have actually been in New Orleans during Mardi Gras? It's pretty crazy. Actually, my first family reunion in 2002 was in Mardi Gras in New Orleans during Mardi Gras. So I heard Gary Keller for the first time on Monday, and Fat Tuesday was Tuesday. So pretty crazy, but it's always nice to have a festive occasion with no pressure of gift giving. So it's a good day. Actually, this is a good touch. Today is a good day to touch. I don't think many people are going to wish people happy Mardi Gras, so you will stand out, correct? All right, think about that. So let's start with, actually we were doing a little house cleaning at the Feynman house, and this appeared. So this is actually the Business Chronicle. That's the actual color of it now, this article, from June 27th, 1988. I got my license.
Is that you?
Wow.
Mustache up there? I can't see it.
Do what?
Top right. You in the top right? I can't really
Got a hair on
No, none of that.
None of those rings.
He's talking this one here. Morris.
Yeah, I was not pictured. I was incognito back then. But yeah, pretty cool. So, yeah, 31 years now in the business. So, market. Let's talk market. Again, you got the emails for me. Last week we had one day 25 contracts in. Another day, or yesterday, 17. It's February. It's not May or June. This is February. I think you mind if I take this off this second? Put it back on. I'm jingling. It's crazy good. The market is crazy good. This is spring, summer type numbers, and I think all of you are understanding that's the case. Every month, I love this part of the year because every month escalates. There's more energy, there's more business. January to February, February to March, it's just escalating right up to July. So, but these are crazy big numbers for this time of year, so I think you know what you got to do. I sent this to you. Let's talk about it just for a second. So we were in family reunion last week. I always go. This is one thing I'm looking out for more than anything. This is part of Gary's vision speech. You have the whole thing. There's a ton of slides for it. But I think this is a conversation you're having with most of your buyers. And again, I don't know how many of you are kind of getting, we like to buy, but we're just so concerned about price appreciation, right? Longest time in U.S. history. We're going on 9 years of price increase, which is fantastic if you own property, okay? We've gone from 166, this is the median price in the country, now we're up at 272. So I would always show this slide to people and I would explain it. So this is the historic 4% trend line, which you can see we were right on trend line every year, okay? And then all of a sudden, boom, way above. Gary was the first person I know of that actually predicted the downturn. I can't think of anyone else that said it before him. And the reason he was doing that was here. He's seeing the excess above trend line, as well as there's a historic percentage of home ownership around 62% in this country. That's just normal, and we are way above that too. So he predicted it, he was right. Okay, these were very tough years if you lived through this. But now, here we are back, and as part of what we do as real estate agents, we're here to predict the future for our clients. So, we were concerned. Where do we go? Are we above trend line? I'm pretty good until we get to trend line and maybe even a little beyond it. So we are 11% below trend line. Actually, I think last year, they don't have a projection this year. Last year they had a projection of 2019. I think they projected 267. We're actually above that at 272. So I think this is a great chart to show people. I mean, you know, I start almost every conversation on this topic with I don't have a crystal ball, but I feel pretty comfortable because we're not even at trend line yet. And you know, I tell you every week, I'm a net buyer. Bought two to flip last year, bought two to hold. I'm buying again. So I like everything out there. The market to me seems incredibly good right now. And there's a lot of factors. We've talked about this. There's a lot of major factors that could, next week we could have a whole different story if big things happen. But Atlanta is positioned right now with the job growth and people growth, and companies coming here, millennials coming here, and distribution we have. It's a good thing. We were at family reunion last week, which was my 20th, and probably my second best actually. I liked everything about it. I like where the company's going. I think we're at a point now where last year I told you to hold off with Command. I think Command is a significant piece now that's functioning a lot better and can make your real estate life more efficient and cost less. And again, it's hard. It's very hard for anyone to make bets on the future, on something that really hasn't occurred yet. I think most of us are starting to feel this new world, this new digital AI world invading our lives. We've seen it, you know. We search for black shoes, and the next thing we know, the next site we're on, Over in the right-hand column, there's black sheep. I mean, they're watching everything, right? And that's the whole reason for Command and this new consumer app is it's going to give us an advantage. It's going to give us more data that we can advise our consumers. We just have more data about what they're doing and more relevant data that no one else is going to have. And it just felt that way at this family reunion. They got the right people. Josh is so smart. Jason Abrams he's the guy, man. I mean, not only does he know real estate, but he knows tech at a high level. So it's starting to really happen. And we got to start messing with Command, and same thing with the consumer app. That we have a very, very good consumer app now to get in the hands of everyone you know that's branded to you. So when they're searching, one, they're seeing you all the time on the app, but two, you know exactly what they're doing, right? So I think a very significant point in time in history, this family reunion. So Stacy, just a couple points. What impacted you there?
In addition, ditto, everything Brad said, some notes that I made, when both from the vision speech, they reviewed for us the statistics about, and we've all heard them before, upwards of 90% of people that do a transaction would work with the same realtor again if they kept in touch, which is the challenge. It's the hardest thing. And so the staying in touch, I am going to focus on that a lot more, helping agents do that, because it can be monotonous and challenging, but the staying in touch, but with the design of Command and the app, there are ways and to keep your name, that top of mind. We're really going to focus on remaining top of mind. I also love that Gary revisited a point of what kind of agent do consumers want? They don't want 24/7 agent, but they want a professional. And he defined a professional. This is a new agent can be a professional. They know what they know. They know what they don't know. They know the difference, and they're willing to, get the answer. We teach. If you don't know the answer to something, it's okay. Say, I'm 95% sure, but I want to be 100% sure, and I'm going to check with my broker and get back to you by noon tomorrow or whatever. They want professional, which that means you don't have to know everything, but you're professional and you conduct yourself as such. There was a lot of reinforcement of what we already teach, but it is so cool to be a part of a company that is so in it for the agents, not for the company's bottom line, for the agent's bottom line. I was very energized, weren't you?
Yes.
Missy?
Yes.
Terry, what'd you get?
Well, I got a lot, but I'm going to have to back up Stacy and Brad in regards to Command. I mean, the classes that we went to on Command, the capabilities of Command just blew my mind. I mean, we haven't even scratched the surface of what Command is capable of doing. So they also showed us really great places to go for Command to look and be able to take online training. If you're not able to watch Pete or you're not able to come in here, they're there. You can actually have a live chat while you're doing online training too with Command if you need to ask questions. So if anybody wants to find out where that is, just come to me and let me know. And then the other thing that I really loved, I went to a class about luxury listings. And so I've got a lot of good tips in regards to luxury listings. And one of them was about auctioning luxury listings, which I found that to be very intriguing, because a lot of people think when you're auctioning something, it's because you're in dire straits, right? But that's not really the case. So if you want some tips on that, I'll be happy to share that with you as well. And then different tips on how to get some more luxury listings. That was really great. Those are the two really big things that stuck out to me the most.
Good, thank you. Okay, So, and we'll be talking next couple weeks about some things there. Real story. Someone in this room, not going to say who it is, but their own personal house. What we do as agents is we help people in real estate, correct? We solve problems in real estate. We make people money in real estate. We save people money in real estate. We make their home more efficient. The more you do that, the more people like you, regard you as their agent, tell other people about you. One good service, because this is a real story, over the weekend, someone in this room went under their bathroom sink to cut off their water. Handle broke off. Yep. Go shut off the main. It was under 2 feet of mud and frozen. Okay, as water kept spilling out in the house. Okay? What about your whole house cut off? Well, I would think that most people, a good percentage of people don't even know they have one or where it is. In this particular house, it was deep in the crawl space at maybe a foot level. Okay? So, first floor flooded. Okay? So, I mean, here's just another service after we close. Okay? Guys, let's go, let's explain. I tell you, a great closing gift would just be to give somebody one of those tees to cut off your main meter, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, they'll call you.
Show
Thank
where
you
it
for
is.
Right, let's see where it is. You practice, there you go. Good. Whole house, here it is. If it's in a place like that, we probably want to get that changed, right? To a place more accessible. Here's how you cut it off, this simple. When you cut it back on, don't just turn it, step, right? Maybe show them, here's how you cut off your electric, just, It's a good service to do, right?
Yeah,
But
and your inspection will notate where those things are, so they have the information, but you may need to connect the dots.
Yeah, it's a real story. That's all we're trying to do is find things that we can constantly just go, gosh, thank you, Cindy, for being my agent. That's, and when that happened, you would go, we got it off so quick because we actually knew where it was in practice. So, good story there. All right, got 2 awards I want to give today, both from family reunion. So Southeast Region had their big banquet. First person, again, we had our Dunwoody banquet. We had a lot of people get Y4C2T awards, our culture award, but the region is looking for one person out of that group that is the regional culture person. And in this office, unbelievable what he does with his own ministry over Christmas. I mean, just all the people he serves. So, Rashad Arnold, come on. Get to know Rashad. He's a good man. He not only does he do this, he coaches his kids' basketball teams. He's a great family man. He's a smart guy too. Yeah, he's big in investments, and I love his counsel. So congratulations, Rashad. Also, top 10 in the region last year. Top 10 individual. Cynthia Pierce. Cynthia in her first year in real estate. How about that?
Wow.
Yeah, how about that? There we go. So, we're having a listing contest right now for the month of February. Just one more week left. Everyone that gets a listing will be in a pool next week. We'll pull out one name. If you have 5 listings, you're in there 5 times. You get 1 listing, you're in there 1 time. We'll pull out one name, $1,000 winner. Last time it was a person that had 1 listing. I mean, there was someone that had like 15 listings. We pulled out the one that had 1. So all you need is 1 to be in the contest. next week that will happen. Let's go agent profit share. So, we're a profit sharing company. Most of you know that. We give back 48% of our profits every month to agents, potentially everyone in this room. So, this is for the month of January. So it came out in February for the month of January. $1 to 100. Joel Perkins, Charlie Lockwood, Kathy Haas, Adriana Azero, Amisha Mason, MJ Thomas, John King, Lita Jordan, Dave Thomas, Cindy Johnson, Felicia Adams, Erica Areola, Bernie Smith, Rebecca Constantine, Bob Facella, Chris Knott, Wendy Yaniv, and Calax Underwood. Congratulations. Ooh, I like that slide. 100 to 200. John Damiano, Joe Cannon, Dave Evans, Miana.
Main identity.
Thank you. Nicole Ambrose, Lynn LaCroix, Barbara Berman, Michelle Morales. Congratulations. Getting better, 200 to 500. Dan Bangs, Renee Jemison, Becky Veal, John Cassane, Kelly Coker Gibbons, Jessica Schulte, Nicole Maven, Jana Huffam, Ernie Hartfield, Virginia Moran, Mike Culver, Kevin Probst, and Lorraine Cowan. Congratulations. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. 500 to 1,000. Apria Brown, Diana Bowers, and Jim McCarthy. Congratulations. 1,000 to 2,000. Michael Martino, Becky Wynn Evans, R.J. McCarty, Jean Bramlett, and Cynthia Pierce. 2,000 to 5,000. Bill House and Arden Feynman. Congratulations. Again, come talk to me if you want to know how profit share can be a part of your life. Love talking about it. Again, we've even upped the game for you, and there's a disappearing cap now. Not only if you attract people to the office do you get profit share, but we can reduce your cap even to 0. So come talk to me about it. It's pretty cool. All right. Who is that masked woman? Oh, man. In the back.
2 of them.
2 of them. Oh, my goodness.
Mine tickles.
Certainty Home Loan.
Oh, good morning, Dunwoody. Happy Mardi Gras. So, would you trust these guys with your loan?
All right, next. Oh,
I want to take that off.
Yeah, this one was great.
Anyhow, I wanted to say just a couple of things. First of all, anybody see the market yesterday?
what happened?
900 points.
Rates were affected in a very positive way. So interest rates, they like bad news. So they went down. I locked a couple of 30-year fixed loans yesterday, 3.25, 3.3. It was like crazy. Locked a 15-year jumbo. 15-year jumbo at 2.75.
Wow.
So it's crazy good. Looks like the market's rebounding a little bit, but rates are continuing to stay low. So just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that. Back you up on what you said about business. Our pre-quals are up like 25-30% year over year from last year to right now.
Hold on. That is really big.
It's
they're
telling.
the precursor of our business.
Right.
When their pre-approvals are up, that's a good sign, and that's a huge increase.
Yeah, it's a big increase because last year was even good. But so pre-quals are up, which translates to you guys to be really good news because it means you've got a lot of people out there looking. I know your topic today is how to get your buyers under contract?
Listings.
How to get your listings under, whatever.
I don't know. Is that
Yeah.
what you're talking about?
Do you want me to lead it? I'll be happy to.
Okay, there we
Okay. But I'll reiterate what I said last time. Get not only pre-approved or pre-qualified, but get them pre-approved. It helps so much. This weekend was a very, very busy weekend for me. I helped a lot of you guys in this room. I talked to a lot of listing agents on behalf of you, And it really helps when I can tell them, hey, I've looked at their income, their credit, their assets. These people are rock solid good. And it makes that listing agent so much more comfortable when they're telling their sellers, hey, this offer presented by this Keller Williams agent out of Dunwoody, they're rock solid. So it really does make a difference. All right. Happy Mardi Gras.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Appreciate it.
Tell you, crazy. If you've been around this business a long time, these rates I'm just gonna go get a lunch. I'm gonna go get a lunch. But interesting. A lot of you were in. We had investment club last Friday. I'm gonna send you all the link. You should watch this video. So yeah, David Osborne, who owns regions in Keller Williams, but his passive income is close to $1 million a month. Wow. Okay, and David's a quirky guy. Okay, I didn't know what we'd get. I didn't know what would happen, but it was like.
But you hadn't met it.
I met it before, so it's like totally amazing. It was just amazing. It was like he went like 20 minutes over. It was just stream of conscious. He kept talking and talking and talking, but there were some amazing insights. One to do with rates. So I've always sometimes there's things in my life where I'm going, why am I not doing that? And next month, why am I not doing that? Next year, why am I not doing that? But one thing is, like, you probably get it. Like, it pops up on your screens. Do you ever get something that says, so-and-so says, get a 15-year mortgage?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Do you get that? Pop up. Anyway. And I'm kind of like, what's wrong with me? Why do I still have a 30-year mortgage? All these, people you're paying higher, but people get a 10 or 15-year mortgage, so they're done. They paid off their house. And I've just never done it. Well, David was the first guy that actually said, don't do it. It's a mistake. And he's right. So he told the story. So he had a friend who had his own house and 3 rental houses. And he had like $2,500 a month cash flow from all that. And he went back and refinanced it where it got down to like zero flow. His payments went up by that. But, he would pay off in 15 years. Okay? Soon after that, his friend had a big stroke. Couldn't work. Actually, things were so bad he couldn't refinance. Okay, so he went from having probably $2,500 flow, which would have gotten him through this period, to in real trouble. Okay, and David said, you accomplish the same thing by just make 2 payments a month. Okay, get a 30-year. If the money's there, make 2 payments, but you still have that margin, which was just like, and he said that early in our meeting, which I'm like, okay, I'm listening now. But he's just a normal, smart guy. So I'm gonna send you the link. It's about, how long did it last? Maybe 45 minutes? Yeah. Watch it. It's good. It's really good. And come to Investment Club. Again, all these people, we want a bigger life than just selling real estate. We want to have a business way bigger than what we need to survive monthly, so we have excess money to invest in vehicles to kick off passive income, where we can establish a passive income that will fund our life. And then we have a ton of decisions that we can stop working, we can keep working. That's the game we're playing in Investment Club. So come, it's every roughly 3rd Friday of every month. Right?
Right.
Okay. Old Republic, sorry. Come on up. Maybe the greatest breakfast of all time. We're going to have food for the next 3.
I've got something very special for you.
Oh, thank you.
And I think with your first you can wear this all day.
Good. Keep your head warm, kid.
Oh yeah, we're gonna wear that all day.
It's him.
Oh, yeah, they got it.
It's him.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. It's so nice to be here.
Honey, I'm home.
I'm not going to comment on that. Anyway, I know home warranties are typically very boring. You've heard this over and over and over, but I am very excited because we're introducing our brand new plan for this year. So I want you to share my enthusiasm when I share with you some of our new benefits. So with that in mind, This side of the room, when I point to you, you're gonna go, ooh. This side is gonna go, ah. So, just we'll practice real quick. And give it your best voice. Wow, I think this side is better.
Yeah.
Okay, so, first thing, we're very excited. We've added some new benefits under optional coverage. The first thing is outdoor kitchen. These guys are out doing it. The second thing is fountains. We now offer coverage for fountains. Who knew there's a big demand? You guys are with it. Okay, third thing is water filtration, which covers the entire house. It also includes reverse osmosis, and if anybody is not familiar with that, what that does is actually take out the pollutants. So we're real excited about that. They're beating them.
Well, they're better.
Another thing we're really excited about is booster pump. If your client has a well, we're now including coverage for a booster pump.
I have a client with that.
Where you stand.
Two more things. If you purchase the Platinum Protection, we also offer coverage for zoning controls, which is huge. One more thing. If you choose Old Republic, you have me as your account executive. And one last thing, I've given each of you a very special pen. This is an Old Republic pen. It's like a James Bond pen. If you push the back of it, it actually lights up. So, if you're in the closet writing out your contract, if you're writing a contract at night in your car, we provide lights. If you forget who to choose for your home warranty, just a gentle reminder. Thank you, everybody.
So, interesting, my son, my youngest child just turned 25 yesterday. We went out to dinner ahead of time. We had about 7 of his buddies have a drink with us. I'm so envious. One of his friends' name is Johnny Bond. I mean, I was like, I want to be you, buddy. Johnny Bond. Wow, that was cool. All right, so let's talk appraisal. It can be an ooh. Okay, now that we're in a 8-year, 9-year cycle of up prices, this is a important part of our deals, okay? Especially if we're the listing agent, okay? So, it's a real, do not forget about this piece of the deal. Your deal is not over. Well, I mean, it is important when you go into contract. It's a huge thing, especially with your buyer. But we still have 2 major hurdles. Inspection due diligence is a big hurdle to get over. Appraisal now in this sort of market is a big hurdle. We have to take it serious, and the best agents do take it serious. So, the key is, to start with, you recognize that this is an important part of the deal. It's getting tougher and tougher with prices going up, right? So why is it tougher when prices are going up?
The appraisers are lagging behind.
And why are they lagging?
They're
Yeah,
scared.
they're looking at history
Because they can only
when
look
the
at
prices are lower.
previous sales.
Well, correct. I mean, when you think about it, logically, I mean, if you had a whole town of every house identical, and prices are going up, nothing should ever appraise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
That's right.
That's right. I mean, that's the truth. And on top of it, these guys, the way they're wired more SC type of personality, and they want fact. They want facts in their world, like a scientist. They don't really listen to, this has the greatest kitchen ever. Or you would think they would listen to, we had multiple offers, we had 4 offers. Okay? But the reason they're like this is they have to prove this to
the bank.
Right. And you would want that too. If you were lending your own money, you would be pretty serious about the house appraising, because we're making financial decisions and actuarial type decisions on loaning this depending on ratios, debt, price, that sort of stuff. So I don't blame them for doing it, but we need to take it serious. So how do we help a house appraise? I think the first step is realizing you have to help a house appraise. If you're just gonna, appraiser goes in, take my chances, you're gonna be disappointed. You will be. So what do? What's our game plan?
The comps in hand.
Comps.
Okay, so
Give them
comps,
donuts.
we do that for them, correct?
Did you say give them donuts?
Meet them with donuts.
Oh, meet them with donuts.
Well, okay, that sounds silly, but, right?
Coffee too.
Right, there's a lot of little tricks we're doing, right? I mean, even maybe the way we're dressed, right? We might show up with those things.
I remember being taught, once you are through due diligence and all inspections are done, that you go and remove your lockbox so that they can't
Without calling.
just
Well, that-
help themselves to the house. Throwing it out there.
There's another tip, okay? So, I mean, we have all sorts of appraisers, right? And it's not a good day if, I mean, we know if it's gonna be tight on appraisal, right? And all of a sudden, you get a call or text going, hey, well, I just finished the appraisal. I just, what? Right. Well, we don't want that to happen. You would think they would call, but they don't always call. So how do we avoid that? We take the lockbox off. They got to go through us to get in the house.
Can I speak to that real quick? Because you will upset some appraisers like that, and you're gonna get off on the wrong foot. You gotta let them know, you gotta put some comments that there's no longer a lockbox there or something, because you don't want the appraiser having to make 2 trips out there.
Yeah.
Good
If he's
point.
going
Very
without
good
an
point.
appointment, he deserves to make 2 trips.
Very
Private
good.
remarks, private remarks.
But back to that, Stacy,
Hey,
Yeah, he's going to the house. So.
as I recall, this was the Terry Fry kind of approach, that we brought it in there, and when they called us, we would interview them
Yeah.
to find out,
How many houses have
We're
you
in this
done in this
area.
area?
oh, you live in
And did they
McDonough.
appraise?
What do you, have you been above I-20? No. Then you gotta call the lender and say,
Thank you.
we gotta go back to the queue.
Right.
right, and I think that's another important point. So there's a skill to this, okay? We're not trying to quiz the appraiser to death where now he's upset with us, right? We don't want that, but in a way that we would pre-qualify our clients without them knowing that we're pre-qualifying them. It would be nice to ask those questions, because if you have your $1 million house on Habersham and you have a guy coming from McDonough that's basically doing $80,000 houses, this isn't a good situation, right? So Rashad, we kind of want to match appraise, yeah.
Yeah, just back to your point, Kevin.
Right.
When I've done that, if I don't do that, I've had issues with appraisers. If I do what you just said and ask those questions, I never had issues with an appraiser. Are you familiar with this area? How many have you done in the last 30 days? If not, go back to the lender. We need to get somebody that's familiar with this area.
Correct.
It matters.
Another good point. Okay, Cynthia,
But I think you're asking in a way in which you're forming a relationship with that appraiser.
that's correct.
He doesn't even really know you're asking point blank questions. If you do it conversationally, you're like, oh yeah, you live nearby? Oh
Right.
gosh, you live in Morrow? Where's that? You know, I mean, sorry.
But you're right, it is
But if you're
conversational.
doing it in a conversational way,
Right.
so, and you never let him know you're just asking questions. You know,
Right.
like, oh gosh, my seller does require an appointment. And if you advertise your home as vacant, that's the only possible scenario I can imagine an appraiser going without pre-approval, pre-appointment.
Right.
Because, and in that case, you just hide the lockbox, you don't take it away. You just hide it behind the meter or something so that they have to call to say where the lockbox is. You don't act, and maybe you're not going, right?
Right.
But you can tell them where the lockbox is, but you've had that pre-qual conversation before you tell them where the lockbox is.
Right.
So it forces them to call. Is all. Call agent for lockbox location, right?
Correct.
My 2 cents.
Right. So again, I think this is a art form, what we're doing here. It's conversational. It's not like we're quizzing them. And I think actually what we do, so let's just say we're there at the same time, we could have a lot of different answers to people's theories. There's no right or wrong answer. In my opinion, these guys are pretty confident that what they do, they know it only, and we're inferior to their knowledge. I would think that's their opinion, right? So if we're going to sit there and follow them around, it's probably not going to go well. I think the point is that we've done all the work. Not just that we've laid the comps out there, but we've actually done the calculation, okay? And what is a good comp? I mean, it's very simple. What is a comp we want to provide to them?
Similar
style, same school district.
Okay,
Within a
similar,
period.
and that can vary depending on what you have.
Within the school district.
Okay, but what is a comp? What is the main thing we're trying to put out there?
Better price per square foot.
Condition
Exactly
of
right. Okay, that's what we're fighting. So the first thing we do when we're doing this analysis, which probably would take you 30 minutes to an hour to do correctly, is we're printing out each comp, we're printing out the listing and the tax record showing the square footage, all that highlighted, right? And we're printing out the comps in the tax record, all that highlighted, okay? And we're dividing. Okay, so we already know the price per square foot of our house, and we're trying to find ones that are
Similar or
higher, right, because now it appraises, okay? Totally on square foot, that's what they're looking for the most part. There is some variances. Obviously, they add or subtract. 3-car garage, you get some more. Pools, things like that, we add, we subtract. But we're looking for a higher footage. So there's no reason to provide them comps if your house comes out at $230 a foot and you're providing 3 things at $190 a foot. You're just telling him it doesn't appraise, right? So we know we have a problem and we're trying to go back how far? How far back?
6 months.
6 months.
Or less.
Again, this becomes an art form when there's nothing working number-wise. Would I include something 9 months back if it worked?
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
Yes.
Okay, even a year back, I maybe would. Okay, so we're trying to determine closest in time, most similar. Okay, but we have to find. We need to give him things that the numbers work, or we're actually helping him make it not appraised, right? So that's it, Luann.
Another thing that's worked really well for me is just if you have multiple offers and they're, whatever your offer is or above, I just put just the first page of all the offers and I highlight what they offered. And I've had appraisers say, oh, that means a lot to me that other real estate agents thought it was worth more.
Oh, that's
And it's always appraised. when I
Right.
do that.
I think proof, it's always proof, right? So we provide the listing and the tax record. They already see the square footage and the price. If we have multiple offers, yeah, leave the whole offer, leave the first page,
I
right?
like the prices and everything, and they love that.
Brilliant, okay? And just different ways you do it. I mean, if it was me, I would maybe shake the appraiser's hand, thanks for doing this, appreciate you being on time. I do this for every listing. I provide the comps to my seller, and the appraiser, it's in a file. I just hand it to them, go, you lock up, okay? Sometimes if talk to the appraiser, I might say, hey, on the kitchen island, same thing. I do comps for every listing, they're for you. But I think at that point, we're trying to be a little bit, I'm not here to take up your time, you're a smart guy, here they are. There's different theories on that. Make sense? We've got to practice this, okay? You got to make the numbers work.
I also throw in, Brad, the list of improvements.
Yeah. Absolutely. Right.
Offer spreadsheet.
Absolutely. If it has a ton of things and the price, if you can, right?
Yeah, with the number down.
Right. Again, proof's everything. If your client, they just did the kitchen and you have a printout that shows $70,000, put it in there, right? It's not that you're just saying it's $70,000. Here it is, right? Yeah. Any way we can, things that are better, give it to them. Okay? Important part of this year, big part. Charles, real quick, I know you're going to talk longer next week, but Atlanta, you're our resident economist. Good stuff happening?
Good stuff is really happening, Brad. Since we recovered from the recession in 2014, early 2015, we've gained 400,000 jobs. And this past year, we gained 65,000 year over year. And that's particularly good. We are now ranked number 9 in the country, our MSA is, and we will likely overtake Philadelphia for number 8 within the next 2 years.
Size-wise?
What is population?
That's
Yeah, that's 29 counties.
Thank you.
We've just crossed over 6 million. And the city of Atlanta has just crossed over 500,000. That's inside the city limits.
Right. And actually, we'll talk about this, but we have actually one of the smaller of those two ratios, right?
That's correct. Our core city is less than 10% of the total of our MSA, and that's very unusual. I mean, like New York City in the 5 boroughs is 8 million people. The New York City MSA is 19 million. So it's over 40% in the core city. We're under 10%. It's kind of unusual.
Yeah. All right, so we'll show more of that next week. But again, this is all stuff. You can quote that. It's good stuff, right? Clients appreciate people with more knowledge. All right, let's chat a little bit too about just pre-qualifying. I think we forget the importance of this because the purpose of pre-qualifying is not to waste your time. It's actually to save you time, right? Yes, it does take Toshma's. Yeah, I mean, she's the ultimate. I mean, if you see Toshma in a conference room, I mean, you don't go out without a buyer being with you, right? And you spend sometimes an hour to 2 hours, but you've accomplished a lot in that time. Actually, you've saved yourself time because you're finding out exactly what they know, which gets you to the place quicker, the house they want. But 2, I would think in that process you are determining, do I really want to work with this person? Okay? So your year is better when you work with less and less people that are unqualified. And we get better and better at that. Now, I will say this. Give yourself a break. I would say every agent, the best agent in the city, is going to get burned twice a year. Okay? It's the truth. And you just got to get over it. And so most of the time, it's not your fault. Okay? I mean, I'm talking, it could be CEO coming here, or let's say COO coming here, and all of a sudden, you've looked for a month and they change their mind. We're not going to make the move. Okay? Things that you can't control. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But you just got to move on. People that want to spend another month or 2 lamenting this happened, you're wasting time. Just move on. It happens to everybody. Go out and get more business. But a lot of people work with people that they shouldn't have been working with, right? And I think this topic came up because I remember when I was first month in the business, or first month with Keller, I got to talk to a very, very top agent with the company. That had been a top RE/MAX person. Like, I was a RE/MAXer, and it was interesting because this person had a big, big, big team, and was doing $1 million a year, even back in like 2001. And he said, I only do 3 things a day. I mean, he had a team of 7 people. He goes, I only have 3 duties a day. And one was lead generating, which was all morning. That's all he did. 50 calls a day, 250 a week. He knew that got him 12 or 13 listing appointments a week, every week in, week out, which he did in the afternoon. Okay, and at the end of the day, he negotiated. But the point I'm trying to make is, he, out of those 12 or 13, would every week take 2 or 3. Okay? So he was not going there to try to get the listing. He was going to these to see if I want the listing. Okay? He was actually pre-qualifying them. Okay? Because we don't want listings necessarily. We want listings that sell. Correct. So, same thing. What is a grade A client? Let's say on the buy side. What's a grade A client? 3 qualities.
They got
What?
They qualify and they
Okay,
need
so
to
they
close.
qualify, right? They qualify, which is where Randy comes in. Let's do that ahead of time. Shame on you if you went out showing for a month and then all of a sudden you write the contract and, well, he's got a 300 credit score. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, we should have known this ahead of time, right? In a way that is positive to your client. We're not saying, hey, Kevin, I want you to go talk to Randy because I don't want to waste my time working with you, right? Kevin, I don't want you to get interested and fall in love with a house and then not be able to buy it. So let's just talk to Randy, make sure we're in the right rate, make it a benefit to them, okay? So qualified, they're qualified. One, we're in the right price range. Someone will give them a loan in their credit example, correct? Okay, what else? What else?
They don't have a house to sell.
Motivated, correct. So I define motivated as, you told me what you want. If I find it, you'll buy it today. Okay? That's a motivated client. And what's the third?
Got their own down payment, got their own money.
That's nice. I'm gonna say loyal.
Yeah, they listen to
Okay? They are working with me and me only.
Yeah.
Okay? When I have those three, grade A clients, and believe me, those people are all at the top of my list. I'm thinking about them every day. Do I need to touch them? If I got someone in that range, that I'm doing something every 2 days. Well, I'm just saying, hey, happy Mardi Gras. Okay? So, how do we, again, the pre-qual is important. And you should not even know you're pre-qual, right? I mean, these are just questions mixed in. Tosh, any hints on just little questions you ask while we're looking at, houses and that you kind of determine motivation, qualifications?
I've definitely used the scripting that you just said in order to help. I'm always saying in order to help you win, this
Right.
is what we need to do. In our expectation setting portion of the consultation, we look on MLS together. We do some high-level previewing in the office.
Right.
So if they're thinking they're going to be in a county at a certain price, we filter down so they can see exactly what's available. And now with these new numbers, with 6 million people, this is my scripting, with 6 million people in the metro county areas that want a $200,000 home in Cobb County, we have 20 homes to choose from. And then I'm quiet. What do you think about that?
Right.
So we're out the gate, we're understanding we're not going to get that. So and it just, and it without saying you're not going to get that, we just let the information speak for itself. And then we start to look at the quality of the home. So then we kind of reevaluate the priority. Okay, well then if I have to be in Cobb County, then this is what we're going to get. Are we willing to go a little further out? So we start to really whittle everything down so that when we get in the car, we're going to look at the home that can be yours. We're not going to just view homes. That's not what we do.
Okay. Good. So what can stop? What holds us up if we don't get what are we trying to determine? We're motivated. I find it today. You'll buy it, and you're qualified. What are the things we need? We're assuming they're loyal. Okay.
Make sure you have decision makers.
Okay. So we talked to Randy. So credit's good. They have a job that pays enough. Correct. Sometimes that's not the case, right? That's why we talk to them. They could be self-employed. We got a problem, right? Or they haven't been at this job long enough. We need to find these things out. What's another thing that holds us up?
You definitely need to make sure you have the decision makers present. And because all those things could be accurate and
Right.
okay, but if parent is helping them, parent may not even be giving money, but parent is helping them to make a decision. Or if non-contributing significant other is helping them make the decision. You have to know that.
Where's the money coming from? Right. And you've deceived yourself. If a parent's giving the money, they're probably you're gonna have to make the sale twice, right? Because they're a big part of this. So yes, we need to find out where your money's coming from. Do you have the money, right? Maybe overlooked. Ask the question. Are we renting? Do we own? Right? Do we have a house to sell? important pieces. We need to solve the rent problem. Sometimes, I mean, you've gotten this call. Hey, Brad, it's Bob. Bill said you're great. It's February now. Our rent's up in November. Let's start looking. Well, we don't want to say, sorry, Steve, you're crazy. But, so how do we do that? One, let's talk about their rent. So why do you say November? Well, that's when my lease is up. Okay, well, if we could find it now, what is your, what does it cost to break your lease?
Yeah.
Right, right, $2,000. You willing to do that? No.
Show them appreciation year over year.
Or we could say, in our offer, we could ask the seller to pay for that fee, right? That's great. All right, let's start looking. Plain and simple. Okay, we got to solve all these things where we're a go motivation-wise and we're a go qualification-wise.
I think also, Brad, in this market, like what Toshma said, there's 20 homes in Cobb, maybe only 4 homes in East Cobb. How long do you plan on staying here? Because that could be a bridge into saying, well, you know, this could be a great place for you to land for 2 years if you're only looking, if you're okay with being here for 4 or 5 years, until something else that comes up that maybe that's more better for you in the long term, something like that. I'm actually having a conversation with a client in regards to that right now, looking for something in Buckhead for $1 million, $1 million, and everything is coming up at 1.4, 1.5, what they like. So it's having a conversation. Well, you can park right here for 2 years. The neighborhood is selling at 1.3. When something comes available, then sell. So I mean, I just think that's the point.
Absolutely. So take this serious. Again, I don't want you working on things that, if we really drill down, it's not a possibility. The less time we waste working with situations that don't work. Same thing on the list side. You know, I mean, overpriced. I mean, there's different scenarios, but again, we're trying to work with buyers and sellers that there's a very good chance of a deal happening. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, we've reversed it. Pete, Command Central. Pete English, what you got?
Well, there's a lot happening in command.
Give us one cool thing.
Everybody heard the term to scale? That's kind of a fancy word, to scale. How would you define it?
Grow, get bigger.
How about if I throw an idea out at you? If you can do one thing and do it a whole bunch of times and do it automatically for the people, and it worked for you in the middle of the night, would that allow you to scale? You think about a lot of real estate agents, a lot of people are on teams, but there are a lot of real estate agents that are one-man shop. They're the chief cook and bottle washer. You got to do everything from vacuum to marketing to show houses, right? So one of the things that's kind of neat about command is there's a tool called a smart plan. Has anybody played with a smart plan yet? Handful of people? What's the downside before today? What was the downside of a smart plan?
Smarter than me.
You couldn't change it, right?
Okay.
It was what it was. Like it or don't use it. They just came out at Family Reunion. You can now roll your own. Okay? BYOS. Bring your own, build your own smart plan. All right? What does a smart plan do? What a smart plan is like a workflow that's kind of neat. If you thought about, all right, I met somebody at the baseball game yesterday. I got some information about him, and now I want to start marketing to him. I met 5 or 6 people at the baseball game yesterday. Now all of a sudden you, the one-man shop, have got a whole bunch of stuff to do. But if we build a smart plan, then all you have to do is add that contact into command, and you click on those 5 people and you say add them to this smart plan that I created, and it's going to be automatic for the people. It's going to work for you in the middle of the night while you're asleep. Now all you have to do is add 50 people a day, and all of a sudden you get to scale, right? So what a smart plan that you build can do
is things like a task to remind you to do something. Or step number 2 might be send out the email to say, hey, Luann, it was great meeting you yesterday. Just remember to send it out today so that when they get the email tomorrow it says yesterday. Right? It was great meeting you yesterday. I'd like to set up and show you how, I'd like to set you up for a neighborhood watch, and every 2 weeks send you information about your neighborhood. Well, it would be pretty nice if you had their home address, right? Because the neighborhood watching command doesn't work unless you have their home address. So your SMART plan is step 1 is tomorrow make sure you have their home address. Then wait a day, and then make sure you put them on the SMART plan for the neighborhood watch. That's step number 2. Then step number 3, send out the email that says, hey, Luann, I put you on a SMART plan. Step number 4 is wait 14 days and make a phone call. Hey, are you starting to get my junk mail? Right? Step number 5 is to wait 30 days and send an email just checking in. What do you think about this neighborhood watch that you're getting? So you see the idea of what we're doing? You're building a step-by-step-by-step workflow that allows you to turn it on any particular day that you add a person. So it's not like if we did a mass email that goes out to everybody today, right? And then that's it. But with a SMART plan, if I add Bob today and put him on the SMART plan, it all starts working tomorrow. Then I add Brad the next day, put him on the exact same SMART plan, it starts working 2 days from now. Does that make sense? So that's what SMART plans are all about, and the ability to build your own creative SMART plan doesn't have to be, you don't have to touch, a particular person. It can be a SMART plan for you. I need to call somebody. I need to send an email, right? So customized SMART plans are pretty cool. It allows you to scale by yourself, doing things that it would take a whole team to do. Questions?
And you can pre-program it. You could have so you get busy and your big touch doesn't go out. This can be pre-programmed, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Luann, question?
So are you saying though that it will send it out for you, or it just reminds you to send out the email? It
will do both.
It will send it.
If you don't want it to do it for you, then it's going to remind you, right? It's going to show up on your task list. It'll show up right here on your task list today that, hey, send out an email. Or you can say, send it out.
Okay.
Ready?
Is it going up through MailChimp or is it sending out through command?
No. So what they have done, I don't know who Keller Williams is using now, but if you go into it now, everybody gets 5,000 emails a month for free. So you actually write the email within the SMART plan, and you can build it, and it goes out. If I come down here to where's the SMART plan? Thank you.
Right there.
So if you notice right here, I got a bunch of SMART plans. Here's a SMART plan that I just wrote just a second ago just to do it. I say it's just met. And so here are my steps over here on the left-hand side. Let me flip it over here.
What?
Yes, sir?
Can you hold off 1 second?
Yep.
Can you stay maybe 10, 20 minutes afterward and for people that want to stay and see this?
Absolutely.
Okay, so real quick, we're 10 over. Let's go listings and caravans real quick. Stay in here and watch this. This is important. Luann.
So Cindy Johnson is having a caravan at a beautiful home in Rivergate. She's having a cash grab bag, 11:30 to 1. Please stop by. You have a flyer.
Perfect. Gigi.
I have a spectacular rental in Midtown, at 1010 Midtown building. I'm sure that a lot of people know it. It's very popular. It's on the 21st floor with beautiful views over Midtown, and it goes for $3,100.
Nice. That's a great building.
Yes, I have a lot of clients.
On Friday, I just listed a fantastic executive luxury townhome in the enclave of Glenridge. It's $1,175,000. 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, about almost 6,000 square feet with an endless swim pool in the lower level terrace. These are John Whelan built homes. You don't even realize it's a townhome, and this is an end unit, so really awesome place. So we'll be doing an open house caravan next Tuesday, so look for that.
Fantastic. Katie?
I've got a new construction in Grand Park, Summerhill. It's a 4-bed, 2.5 bath with a bonus room. 2,500 square feet. You can walk to restaurants, you can walk to the park. It's not ready for a caravan today, but we're going to have an open house on Sunday. It'll go live on Thursday. We're getting pictures tomorrow. And it's $575.
Nice. Very nice.
In 2 weeks, I'm gonna have a townhouse in Buckhead at Moore's Mill and Howell Mill. It's about 2,200 square feet. And it's gonna be $499.
Nice. Know that intersection well.
We've got a great 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo in Atlanta in 7 Pines, updated kitchen, cute little back deck, and has a privacy fence around it, so you can store your bike or have a pet back there. Wonderful first-time home buyer opportunity.
Where approximately?
It's right off Cumberland Road.
Okay, good. Who else?
I have a house in Keswick Village coming up next weekend. They just bought a house in Decatur, so they are ready to sell this one. It is 3 bedrooms, but could be a 4th bedroom, 2 baths. We're going to list it around $675. Fantastic backyard, large on the outside of Hilden's Circle, so really good.
Okay. Luann?
I'm having an open house that actually Anna Variantis is having for me on Sunday, 2 to 5, in my townhome in Roswell that I mentioned a couple weeks ago. It's at 445, 3-story, open concept. It is a beautiful home. 2-car garage, patio with a hot tub, deck. Really, really nice. So it's in Roswell, and see more if you want the directions for that.
Nice. Cynthia?
I have a new listing coming in 3 weeks in hot Ashford Park. It's going to be mid-900s, and it's like new. It's about 2.5 years old, a relo, and it is beautiful. So keep it in mind. I can get you in. Go higher.
Very nice. You're right. It's very hot over there. Who else?
So hot.
Okay, again, stay. If you're going to leave quietly, but Pete's going to show you more about smart plans. You can stay and ask questions.
We do have a free CE class this afternoon. Our friends from Home Pro doing the anatomy of a house, but, you know, all those construction terminology. I mean, it'll be fun, easy, free CE. So I know some people have their license renewing soon. So
okay, Tosh, hang on. Hang on.
Well,
hang on.
Who are my East Cobb experts? Who are East Cobb listing East Cobb?
Okay, Pete, continue. All right. All right, go ahead, Pete.
that is unusual.
How are you? Good. Get everything taken care of? Working hard every time. Working all day. I'm gonna keep her around for another couple of years. Huh? I'm surprised. All right, Pete, knock it out of the park.
All right, everybody ready to listen up? All right. So the winning lottery number is 7342. Does anybody have it?
It's 555. The Powerball number is.
All right. Jake just won it.
Yeah, good.
Jake always.
Eric, he's taking everybody to lunch.
At least for dinner, maybe.
All right, so Randy, can you shut that door for me?
I'd be happy to.
Thank you, sir. So to kind of review what a smart plan is, a smart plan is workflow, and it allows you to build your own workflow. And I don't want to say to do anything you want to do, but there are a lot of tools, a lot of widgets in here that allow you to build your smart plan. And if I had to guess, every single one of us would build a different smart plan to do something, right? If it's nothing else, if you don't even reach out and touch your client base, it could be a smart plan to remind you to do something. It doesn't have to be client focused, it could be you focused. So this one that I just built just a minute ago, if we look at the screen right here, if you notice it says number 1, so this is the very first step in my workflow, and it's create a task. And I'm saying, all right, I want to collect the home address for contact first name, contact last name. All right, so here's the story. I was at the baseball game last night. I met 4 people. All right?
You played last night? It rained, man.
No, I pitched. It was a shutout. Nobody showed up, so it was shut out.
Well, Dunwoody was actually supposed to play Walton, and it rained out. I want you to know that.
Lucky for Dunwoody. All right, yeah. So, notice over here it says contact first name, contact last name. Because when a task pops up in command, wouldn't it be kind of helpful if the task said call Eddie Levine, right? As opposed to make call. Well, who the hell are you supposed to call? So by simply coming in here, you see this little field button over here. If I drop down, it gives me first name, last name, email, phone, birthday, home anniversary. I would assume that in the future they'll have more drop-down fields. But so what's going to happen in this step number 1 is I'm going to create a task for myself. And the task that's going to pop up on my home screen tomorrow morning is going to say, collect home address for whomever. Today it's Eddie. Tomorrow it's Jake. Wednesday, Thursday is Bill. Okay? I write the smart plan one time, and it allows me to scale for as many people as I want to going forward. Right? So I'm putting a merge field right here. The task description can be anything you want to put in there or not put in there. So in my step right here, I'm simply saying that collect the home address for Bill Haas. That's step number 1. That's all I got to do, and I've got it scheduled for today. Oops. So whenever I click on this smart plan and I click on Bill, it's going to schedule a task for me to get Bill's home address today. Then, step number 2, I'm going to scroll down. It says step number 2, set a delay of 1 day. So I've got all day to track Bill down to get his home address. All day. I'm going to wait, and tomorrow I'm going to come in here, so I'm going to do a delay of 1 day. Step number 3 is I'm going to create another task for myself, and this task is going to be add Bill Haas to monthly smart plan. So even though this is a smart plan, this is smart plan number 1, I'm actually going to add Bill to smart plan number 2. And smart plan, the only thing that smart plan number 2 does is every 2 weeks it sends out a neighborhood report to whatever subdivisions I have pinned on Bill that he's interested in. It could be where he lives today. It could be where he wants to live tomorrow. It could be a subdivision that his kid is thinking about moving to in Dallas, Texas. Because remember, our KWLS is a national MLS. If I know that Luann wants to move to St. Simons, my smart plan for her can be give her information about St. Simons every 2 weeks or every month. So the smart plan that I'm building right now is simply going to call another smart plan on step number 3.
Can you go back to number 2? What were you doing there again?
All right, let's go back to step number 1. Step number 1 is I need to find Bill's home address. Because my smart plan that I'm about to run on him doesn't work unless I got a home address. Because I don't know the neighborhood, right? I guess theoretically you could put a neighborhood in there without having a home address. But
So how do you know it's Bill? Are you putting his name in there?
it's not going to be Bill, but see, it's going to be first name, last name.
Are you putting their names in there?
I'm not. All I'm going to do once I build this smart plan, and once I build a smart plan once, I can run it forever. So 3 weeks from now, when I go to another baseball game, and Bob shows up, and I write his name down on a napkin, when I get back home, I'm going to put Bob Fasella in there, and I'm going to put him on this smart plan right here, and it starts all over again.
I think we need to say this is predicated on you entering that contact's name and email address initially.
In this particular smart plan, that's correct. I could build a new smart plan that just says, hey, every 3 weeks call everybody I know. Right?
Pete, when you develop the smart plan and put the contacts in there, would it automatically generate the reports? Or do you have to go in there and prompt it to send the reports out?
It depends, okay? When I say it depends on what it is you want to do. Because in my case, I want to build this report, which is the neighborhood watch.
That's what I did, the neighborhood watch.
Yeah, well, that's a different smart plan. It's got other steps that are already defined. But that smart plan that you're talking about is the prerequisite is you have their home address or you have added neighborhoods into their contact information.
I have their home address, I have their neighborhood, I put them in a smart plan, but I don't know what it's doing.
Are you left-handed or right-handed?
Right-handed.
There you go. If you're left-handed, we'll talk, but if you're right-handed, call that.
Okay, I'll let you fix it.
Okay, step number 1 is collect the home address. Step number 2 is wait a day. Step number 3.
Why do you have to have that, though?
Why do you have to wait a day?
Because I'm going to assume that if you're like me, there's a very good likelihood that your round 2 at list ain't going to get round 2'd all day. So I'm giving myself a day. If I get your address, if I got your address at the baseball game, then step 2 kind of doesn't matter.
So it's a reminder to get it if you didn't do it.
Exactly.
You can make your list however you want.
Because this is not going to work if you don't have the home address, right? That's why I put this step 3 in here, is to give myself a day to make double dog sure I've got the home address. All right. So step number 1, get their home address. Step number 2, wait till tomorrow. Step number 3 is remember to put them on the smart plan. If I don't put them on the smart plan, nothing happens. Right?
And enter their address into the...
That's correct. All right. So step number 4 is let's wait for 14 days. Why do I want to wait for 14 days?
I don't know.
Because the smart plan only sends a report out every 2 weeks. Right? Because I know what my next step is, and y'all don't know what my next step is because I haven't showed you yet. Right? But my next step is to make a phone call. So 14 days from now, I'm going to make a phone call, and I'm going to call Bill Haas to confirm he's getting the monthly drip. That makes sense? Hey, Bill, just checking in. I set you up, man. Are you getting anything? That's my what? 3rd touch already? I forgot how many touches. We're up to like 96 touches a month or something now, right? But there's my touch that says, Bill, just checking in that you got it. He's going to say, yeah, I got it. But you know what? You put me on for St. Simons. I'm really interested in Sea Island. Boom. At least you got a reason to talk, right? Then I go to step number 5 is I'm going to wait for 30 days until step number 6 happens, step number 7 happens, and at that point, I'm going to send an email automatically in the middle of the night while we're asleep. And that email is going to say, hey there, first name. Hey, Bill. First name. Hey, Bill. Hey, Bill. Right? You'll figure out, oh crap, I screwed up. So at least you can come in here and edit it when you screw up and say, hey, Bill.
So why do you have to do delays in some of them but not others? That's
Well,
always a little
you don't have to. You can make a whole bunch of things happen. But anytime you do a task, you cannot have 2 tasks in the same day. So you can have a task to do something and send an email and send a text, but you can't have a task that says, call Bill, find out his mother's maiden name, find out his shoe size. You can make one task and do all 3 things, but you can't do 3 tasks together.
And when you're saying address, are you also saying address and/or email? I mean, how are you going to send an email?
Well, you already have to.
Well, that's a great point. Maybe I should have another task, confirm email address.
Yeah.
Right?
Because that's how I'm going to send it out, not mail it.
Absolutely. After you've built this workflow, you'll say, okay, I kind of know what I need to do, because 14 days later when the new email goes out because you didn't put their email address and it blows up on you, you go, damn, I should have thought that. All right, so step number 7 is I'm going to send an email 30 days later, and my email is going to say, just checking in, see what you think about the neighborhood updates. Are they providing value? What else might I be able to provide you that can help you stay abreast of the real estate market? Look, I just made up that email. You can say, go dogs. Anything that you want to do. And then I could say 30 days later, send another email. And that email could be talking about whatever you wanted to do. And it just replicates and replicates and replicates. Now, these smart plans have the ability to spawn off to other smart plans. And you have the ability to start all over. So you could build a smart plan. Let me do this for the fans at home. You could build a smart plan. You got somebody that says, I'm thinking about selling my house 2 years from now. You go, okay, well, that's a different smart plan. But the bottom line is you could build a 6-month smart plan, and then the last step could be start it all over again. So basically it goes for infinity and beyond, right?
So are smart plans ultimately kind of replacing the 33, 36 touch programs?
I wouldn't say that they're replacing, they're allowing you to do it a whole lot easier than it used to be.
Yeah, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I built this smart plan, and I think it's the greatest smart plan ever known to man. So now I come up here and let me get back over here so that the folks at home can see it. So I come back over here and I save my smart plan. All right? So life is pretty good. So if I come back over here and I go down to my smart plans, it gives me a list of all these smart plans that I've built. All right? And this one is that I just showed you guys, I called it Just Met. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to my contact, and let's just search for somebody. How about, let's see if we got anybody named Hank in here. Oh, we do. All right. So let's go to Hank, and let's come over here to Smart Plans, and I'm going to click on Smart Plans. Look, Hank has no smart plans. So I'm going to say Add a Smart Plan, and then I'm going to come over here to my Just Met Smart Plan, which is right here, and I'm going to select it. And now I can start it right now, or I can delay it to start tomorrow, or whenever I want to. So now I just added this, we'll call this Smart Plan number 1. I just added Smart Plan number 1 to this contact named Hank today, and everything starts, and life is great. I go to a baseball game tonight, I meet Susie. Tomorrow, I add Susie to my contacts. I put her on the exact same smart plan, but it's staggered a day later. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
One smart plan that can be scaled to as many people as you want it to be scaled to. Questions?
All right, so go back to the email now. The
Okay.
email is not going through MailChimp, it's going
It
through.
is not going through MailChimp. I ask KW, who's the email provider we're using?
Yeah.
No, well, I'm sure they'll respond one day.
So,
Yeah.
but when someone responds to that email, it's going into command, which is either going into your Gmail or Outlook.
Okay, that's a great question.
As far as then to continue communication.
All right, so let's do this. I will confirm, all right, and then when I come back over here to Hank and I go to my timeline, subscribe to the blah, 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 stage, all of my historical information that I have with Hank shows up in my timeline, including emails.
Right, but you'll get a notification somehow if they respond back. Where's it? Because if they just respond back and you don't know where it is, how are you supposed to respond back?
All right, so back over here, when we go to settings. And.
No, command.
Command setting, thank you.
Contacts.
Is it contacts? Actually.
No, were you talking about settings?
For my smart plan settings, let's see what I can do. In here, somewhere, I think it is in settings. But anyway, it's a new field that you set up, and you can set up your reply to email address.
Okay.
And that's where the communications come back to. Remember, if anybody ever tried to do this in the past, it would say no reply at
Correct.
KW.
Correct.
That's gone.
So now we have to go into settings and set that.
I think actually it did it automatically for you.
Okay.
It should be your KW Gmail.
Or whatever you have in your marketing profile.
Okay.
It could be a
Okay.
KW email, it could be a Gmail email, it could be AOL, whatever it is.
Okay.
But it should pull it from your profile.
Okay. So you should get it on your phone and you should get it on.
If you've got your phone set up. Yeah.
Do you know if the how do you say
Twilio?
Twilio, is it working yet?
Twilio works. All right. Does everybody know what Twilio is?
Yeah.
So Twilio is a back-end engine Twilio is a big company that allows you to send a bazillion texts at the same time. So you could literally do a massed text to everybody in your database. That's one of the things that Twilio does. Okay.
Which is what Stacy does.
Well, she doesn't use
But
Twilio.
not Twilio, but it is the same concept.
Right now, it will send the text out, but when someone texts you back, it goes. You
Well,
don't get
so what happens
notification.
with Twilio today is the first question. Once somebody signs up for Twilio, after they've actually tried it, they go, wait a minute, I have to have a different telephone number. I can't use my cell phone number. And that's correct. So you have to have a separate telephone number. And if you don't want to pay $1 a month for a 404-770 or 678 telephone number, then you're going to get a 512 Austin, Texas telephone number by default. So you can pay to have an Atlanta telephone number, but it's going to cost you $1 a month. And then to text with Twilio is 0.007 cents. So it's less than a penny per text to send a text. And what they do is when you sign up for the service, it's like the Fast Pass card on 400, right? They're going to bill you for $20, and they're going to always keep it at $20. So when you get down to whatever, it pops you back up to $20.
Right, but did they get the response? Because that's all good, but when you send a text right now and someone responds,
it comes back into command.
It's not. That's why I was asking.
And you tried it as recently as
last week.
No.
Yeah.
They fix things so they're in constant fix mode.
Okay.
If something doesn't work, you better check it 24 hours later. It's just amazing how fast.
All right, I'll check it today.
But there's other programs out there that actually integrate with your own texting app on your phone.
But what's nice about
But it doesn't go back into command.
But what's nice about
those
this
other ones
also-
do go back into their CRM.
Right, but you're already set up. If you take if you take one of the pre-ones they've done before this
smart
plan that you could adjust, it actually would, if you have it set up, it sent out a text saying whatever, either pre-written text or whatever. So it was already set up for you, so you didn't have to.
Right.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just don't have
Yeah,
the.
so here.
But the other programs, like what Stacy's using and the other one I was using before, does not. Is what I'm getting at.
So when I create my smart
Right.
plan,
used contactually for a while.
Mm-hmm.
When I sent out a text from my phone, it was my phone number.
so I'm gonna
That's
create,
on the client.
here are the
Right, but
widgets
this-
over here on the right-hand side that I can do, right? Send a text message, all right? So, when I send a text message, I can say, blah, 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 have a great day, and that's the text message that's going to go out. And it does send that through Twilio. So you can absolutely, in your workflow, you could say, send an email today, wait for 7 days and send a text message.
And I got a tip yesterday, because now I have a Twilio number, so you're gonna get some from a different number. Put your name at the beginning of your text message to identify, I don't know exactly what would be the best, hey, this is Stacy, you know, because it's not gonna be the number that people are
Bill and I
used
were
to.
talking about that earlier, so because you have a second number that they may not be familiar with, then in my opinion, there's a perfect opportunity for a smart plan right there, and that's introducing your text number, right? So you got a smart plan that introduces your text number, and then roll them into another smart plan. Yeah. Any more questions?
Looking into.
Okay. That's all I got.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you,
Okay, so
was one of your action plan steps to actually launch